All right. We're back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back. It's another episode of the Leo G Show, man. We're here tonight. We're gonna do what we do. We're gonna talk about some sports, and I got the crew with me as usual, man. So I'm gonna introduce them in just a moment. If you didn't already know, it's the Leo G Show, man, where we talk sports. We talk a little bit of everything, man. We're gonna bring this from a fan's perspective, ladies and gentlemen. Man, we are fans. We diehard fans, so we're giving you the fan perspective on what we see and how we feel about everything here in Atlanta and with sports. And we talk about Atlanta because, like, nationally, man, we don't get no plug. Like, we don't get no play nationally when it comes to sport. Put like this positive anyway. Everything is always negative. So we want to try to spin, you know what I'm saying, like a positive spin on our city and the teams that we love. So tonight, I got the crew back with me again, man. This is like, third, fourth episode, man. In a row with these guys, man. So we're gonna bring it to you, man. So I'm gonna introduce my man first tonight, the dude that's all Atlanta, sitting over there wearing the thrashes. This dude done went in the back of the. Well, now he said it was actually in the front of the closet near the Falcons jerseys. He got the Thrashers jersey out, man. Shout out to the Thrashers. They no longer here. Boo hoo. My man Antoine. My man Antoine Banks, what's going on with you, brother?
What's up, Leo G? Man, I had to bring it out, bro. It's one of my favorite sweaters for the ATL.
That's what's up, man. The Thrashers, man. I got some fun memories, man, from going down there to see them play, man. It was fun times down there at Phillips Arena, man, watching them play. And I hated that they left, but blame the Atlanta Spirit Group for that. And I'll probably never see another professional hockey team here in this city in my lifetime anyway. So the next person that we have with me tonight is none other than my man, Derico, man. He's with me again to talk about some sports and hopefully we can get it all out on the table tonight. What's up, Derico?
What's going on, Leo G? You know what it
Man,
is.
Man, it is what it is, man. Like I said, we're going to get into it tonight. We're going to talk about a few things, man. We're going to talk about United. We're going to talk about the Falcons. We're going to talk about the Braves, I guess, a little bit here, man. So one thing is, guys, it's April, right?
Yes,
And
sir.
I don't know if you all knew this, but we played the Masters like 5 months ago, right? And remember we got stuck in this time warp. But guess what? The Masters just started again.
It did.
The Masters started again today. I'm like, literally, like, I looked up at the TV and they was like, okay, first round of the Masters. And I'm like, did we just play the Masters? Dustin Johnson just won it. But hey, it's April. This is when we usually play the Masters. Masters just started today, man. It is crazy times, man. Like, Banks, we just played the Masters 5 months ago in the fall. Now we're back at it again in the spring, man. Is that crazy or what?
Blame it on was it Covidia?
Covidia.
This is really, really a mind wrecking just sports stretch period. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what's up, what's down. Hey, there you go. Hey, stuff is just starting up when it just ended like yesterday. So, I mean, it's crazy, Leo. I can't even. I'm not going to begin to sit there and try to figure this out.
We can't. It's just we got to roll with it, man. Hopefully, man, with the vaccine now, man, we get back to some sense of normalcy. For anybody that's eligible to take it, man, I highly suggest that you think about going out there and getting it done, man. I will say that I've gotten it done, and I think everybody on the show tonight has taken that step, man, to get back to normalcy. Derico, I'm gonna kick it over to you, man. The Masters is back. 5 months in with the break, and then we back at the Masters, right?
Yeah, it seemed very strange how quick it rolled back around from being in the fall. Now it's back to its normal spot in the spring. So, it's kind of different today. So I'm hoping that after tomorrow's Friday that we'll get back to normalcy when it's on CBS, and then you can really get the feel on it. Right now it's on ESPN. I like when it's on CBS and get that old school
You
vibe
got
to it.
Jim Nance, and they do the
Yes.
flyovers of all the holes. You get to see the
Yes.
cherry blossoms and the azaleas and all that stuff there, man. So look, man, the Masters, really quickly, because I didn't really plan to talk about this, but the Masters is one of those sporting events, man. It's a nostalgic event. You talk about sports, things that you talk about the Kentucky Derby, you talk about the Daytona 500, you talk about, of course, the Super Bowl. Like, the Masters is the premier event for the PGA, man, and it is something else, man. Augusta National is of course like no other, man. It
Right.
is a beautiful course, and TV really doesn't do it any justice, man. If you've ever stepped on the grounds of Augusta National, man, that golf course is amazing, and it's one of those things. Really, really quickly, I want to say, so they had the ceremonial tee off this morning. Usually, it would have been with Arnie, Jack, and Gary Player. I think Arnie is no longer with us, so they brought in uh, a icon in the sport of golf. Lee Elder was there for the ceremonial tee off this morning. The first African American man to play Augusta National, to play the Masters. So he was there this morning for the ceremonial tee off. Derico, I know you're nodding your head. Did you see that, man? How exciting was that, man? Dude, it kind of sent chills up my spine, man. I was kind of emotional, man.
Yeah, it was good to see. Just seeing him there. Just sitting there, just soaking it all in. But you know how I am. A little late, but what we'll take it. You know what I'm
A
saying?
little late to the
Yeah,
game.
we'll but we'll take it.
Did you see that, man? Lee Elder, man, the first African American to play in the Masters, man. He was there for the ceremonial tee off today.
I'm sorry, guys. I missed it. Um, I missed all of it. I really hate myself for it.
It's all good, man. Like I said, though, man, the Masters, it's up. So we're going into the second round as we speak. So by the time this record, man, we'll actually be in the third round, going into the final round as when I drop this. So the Masters. All right, we're gonna get into the show. We're gonna get into it, man. We're gonna talk about what we talk about. So the last episode, man, it was opening day, right? We talked about the Atlanta Braves, as some people would call them the Cobb County Braves. A lot of people in this city have disowned the Braves. I mean, it's just a bunch of mess, right, when it comes to Atlanta Braves. But, we're still fans. I think for the most part, I'm still a fan because that's the only professional team that I know. I grew up watching. Banks, we talked about his legacy with the team on the last episode. So here's an interesting thing that's going on with the Braves right now. So the MLB All-Star Game was scheduled to be held here in Atlanta this year, 2021, and there was a lot of excitement around it. I was ready for it. I wanted to partake in it and see some events. But the MLB decided to pull the All-Star Game due to a controversial voting bill that was passed by the Georgia legislation. Very controversial. I don't want to go too far into the politics of it. Just based on from where I stand, the voting bill is bad business. That's all I'm gonna say about it. It's bad business, and the MLB decided because of what it was about and what it stood for, that they decided they wanted to pull it. I'm gonna kick it over to you, Derico, first. Did the MLB do the right thing by pulling the All Star game from Atlanta?
They did the right thing, and I'm glad it didn't take them weeks and months to make a decision. And I think the decision that they made was really heavily influenced by corporate sponsors, which I don't care who made the help them make the decision. I'm just glad that the decision was swift and it was final. It wasn't no wavering. I mean, they read the bill. Some of the things in there, like you said, won't get into a lot of it, but they read it and they understood what the significance of trying to disenfranchise people of color from voting.
Absolutely, Banks. Did you want to talk about it a little bit, man? Do you feel that the MLB did the right thing? I mean, I know you were looking. I know you were looking forward to going and participating in some of the things. Do you think the MLB did the right thing?
Absolutely. Good for MLB for pulling out. I like I said, I don't want to get into it with the whole thing, but all I know is it was a move that had to be made expeditiously, and MLB did their thing, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. This ain't the last we're gonna hear from this, you guys. It's gonna be other things that's not gonna be here. So
Absolutely. And like you said, don't want to go into the politics of it all, man. But it's a shame that we're living in a day and age where things like this happens. And it's a shame because economically, man, it's really, really going to hurt the city, man. We're going to lose a lot of money because of it. I think the city of Denver was awarded it. Shout out to Denver, man. They're picking up where we fell off and where we were not able to succeed, man. But I mean, a lot of people don't like to intersect politics and sports, right? A lot of people say leave politics out of sports, but you can't. You can't, man, because guess what? Sports are a part of life,
Exactly.
and politics affect sports and life just like everything else in general, man. So it's a shame, and I hate the fact that the MLB had to do what they had to do. I'm totally in agreement with what they did based upon the circumstances. but it is what it is. So we're gonna kind of move on and talk just a little bit about the Braves as we move forward on in the show. Gonna kind of move a little quickly here. Like I said, last week was opening day. I think the Braves lost on opening day. There were a lot of losses between now and today. They played Philly, then they moved on to play the Nationals. I know the Braves had a doubleheader. Banks, I'm gonna kick it to you. I don't know how much you've looked at this. I know the Braves have won since they've started the season. I know it was looking a little shaky there. I think I want to say they won today or yesterday. If I'm not, they had a doubleheader yesterday. I don't know if they won both games yesterday, but they did have a doubleheader, so they did win both games. How are they looking now? And it's still too early to tell because we got 1,657 games left in the season. But there was a lot of panic. I did see on a lot of the social media channels that there was a lot of panic 2 games, 3 games into the season. What was that all about, Banks?
It's listen, the Braves do this every year. They start off very slow. They start off bats are non-existent. They won yesterday, in a doubleheader. They swept the doubleheader. The batting is coming around. If you watched it, the bullpen is coming around. It takes them longer than I guess other teams to just have it all come together. If you recall back 2 years ago, the Braves played the Phillies exactly the Phillies home opener. 3 games in, Braves lost all 3. End of the year, Braves won the division. No one's worried. Listen, Braves do this every single time. It's okay.
Yeah, it's still too early to tell. It's very, very early in the season. Um, it's just too early to tell. So we'll see here moving forward how this is going to work. Derico, did you want to talk a little bit about what you saw with the Braves?
Well, the first 3 games, I'm like, what's going on? Like he was saying, the bats were cold. I mean, the pitching was giving up runs. I mean, multiple runs. So of course, I was in my feelings a little bit, and like, hey, this ain't how we want to start the season. Even though, like Bank said, this is how we normally start the season. But we coming off the being in the world's not the World Series, but the NLS championship.
NLCS,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? So we expected them to come on and start with a bang. But I'm glad we won that doubleheader against Washington. I mean, we'll take two or three from them, and then we'll turn around and start a series with Philly tomorrow, and hopefully we'll get at least 3 games out of this series. If it's a 4 game series, if it's a 3 game series, let us get 2 of them at least.
Absolutely, absolutely, and we still got a lot of baseball. Like I said, a lot of baseball to go, man. I don't know why sometimes baseball fans get in their feelings, man, and start, you know, 2 games into the season, like, oh, it's over. No, no, people, we got a long, long way to go. It's April. We going all the way into the dog days of summer with this thing, man. And I have a lot of confidence with the Braves. And the skipper at hand right now with Snedeker, man. I mean, Derico, we had an off air conversation about Snit and possibly, what's going to happen with him after this year. But hey, we got to let this thing play out, right? We got to let it play out, and we'll let the chips fall where they may. So we're gonna move. We're gonna move forward, man. We're gonna move. Keep it moving into the show, because guess what, man? Atlanta United is back.
Yes,
Atlanta United is back, man. It's been a long, long time for us to see some soccer up in here, man. And we talked about it on the last couple of shows, but guess what? They back. Had a game the other night. CONCACAF Champions League started out. I guess they got to the round, they're in the round of 16, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. It's
yeah, it's
hard to
around
kind of keep
16.
up with. Round of 16 with CONCACAF Champions League. And so if you didn't know, if you don't follow soccer, for people that don't follow soccer, here in the United States, the MLS participates in CONCACAF, which is basically North America, and you got Mexico and Central America participate in this tournament, the professional teams. The winner of this particular tournament goes on to play in the FIFA World Cup Club Championship, and it's very significant because all of the winners of the world region winners, as they may, you got the African champion, I think, and then you want the European champion, and then the Asian champion. They all play in this tournament to compete to see who's the best region, the best regional club in the world, and that's huge because you're on the world stage, so you get teams from North America, They actually play teams against Europe, a lot bigger, a lot more money into those clubs over there, but you get put on the world stage. So, one side note, no MLS team has ever won CONCACAF Champions League. So we're still waiting on that. I don't know how many years, MLS has been doing this, but for the most part, Liga MX has just dominated this. You know what I'm saying? I think for the most part, they've pretty much won it a while. I think, we've had a couple of times. I want to say Toronto had a chance to go. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know. Maybe somebody can look this up here. I want to say the LAFC. Were LAFC in the finals last year? I'm not for sure. I know Toronto did go to the LAFC, and I know I want to say
I don't
a
think it
couple
was
of years
LA.
ago they went to a shootout, if I'm not mistaken, but they weren't able to make it. But yeah, we have not been able to send a team from the MLS over there. But look, so Atlanta United, they played Tuesday night against, and we've been practicing this before the show, so I hope I can get this right. Alajuelense, I think that's who they played down in Costa Rica. I know somebody gonna probably beat me up.
It's not going to be me.
So yeah, Alajuelense is who they played down in Costa Rica on this past Tuesday for the CONCACAF Champions League, and they were able, and this is aggregate scoring. So we got a home and away. We played down in Costa Rica. We were able to steal a point down there, guys. I don't know. Banks, I don't know if you were able to watch the game, but we stole a point, man. How you feel about it, brother?
I'm very excited about it. I didn't get to see the match because I was watching the Atlanta Hawks. So yeah, there you go. So I'm very proud of this team just to come out, in Gabriel's first game, just to see, the meshing to come in. I guess it's going to come slower, but that particular first match, they showed me something because I only had to watch the highlights. So you guys saw it. So what do you guys think?
I mean, it was great. So before I get Derico's take on it, man, just to give you a little bit of what happened, a synopsis of what happened. Like I said, won the game 1-0 down there in Costa Rica. The only goal scored obviously was by Barco on a PK, and I think we got a little love on that. The PK was awarded due to a handball in the box. If you went back and look at the replay, Derico, I don't think that was a handball. That ball actually hit the dude in the face. It was a cross by Bello, if I'm not mistaken, going inside. But the way the dude put his arm up, I mean, really you shouldn't do that if you're trying to defend. He put his arm up, but I think the ball actually hit him smack in the face. He had a bloody nose behind it, but
Yeah.
they still gave us the PK anyway.
And that's exactly what the commentator said. It's like when it's a call like that, that's one thing you shouldn't do is throw your hands up in the air like this when you're falling back after the ball is like in the vicinity of you. You making a human make a decision if it was a handball or if it was a face ball. But it was clearly a face ball. But we'll take it. I mean, we will take that.
Absolutely.
So
We would take that away point. Go ahead.
and the other thing about that, there's no VAR, so there was no video replay, so they couldn't go back and watch it to see if it was a handball or a face ball or not. So no VAR was good VAR for the Atlanta United the other night.
Absolutely, man. We'll take it, man. We'll take it any way we can get it. So we'll bring them back up for the second leg of this. I want to say coming up here this week. It'll be at Kennesaw. Looking forward to that. Hopefully we can go ahead and put them on the way and move on to the next round. So a couple of things happened, right? Back to competition, back to true competition, as Banks said, man. First active game for Gabriel Heinze. And the boys didn't disappoint. They look good. Starting out, I watched it. They came out and they were ready to go. I think a couple of guys that I really, really watched and I was very, very impressed with. Jake Moraney on the right side, man, he did a fantastic job early on in the first half. George Bello, Miles Robinson, he came to play. But a funny thing happened in the
What's that?
first half.
What's that? What happened?
A funny thing happened, man. Our goalkeeper, man, Brad Guzan, goes out with a red card. Controversial card. I don't know. I will have to go back and look at it a couple of more times. They gave him a red card, so he goes out. And on comes this kid I had never heard of. I want to say Rocco Rios Novo, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's the kid's name. 18 years old, suited up,
Rocco Rios
Novo
Novo. Yes.
from Los Angeles, California. 18 years old. He comes in after Brad goes out. and plays the rest of the match. And this kid has a hell of a match, Derico.
Yes, he did. I mean, I was like, oh my goodness, Brad gone, it's a wrap. But that young stunner got out there and was big in the net. I mean, big, blocking shots. I mean, he took one to the head, trying to keep a ball from coming in. So I was like, you know what, this guy gonna be okay. And then everybody that when we was watching the game, we usually commentate on the Foodie Mob. Shout out to my Foodie Mob family.
Shout out for the mob.
Yeah, that was watching the game, so we usually have a little chat going. So everybody was impressed with that cat, man. And I just hope that hopefully it was a blessing in disguise that Bruce Guzan got that red card because oh boy gonna have to step up again next week when they come around because Guzan can't play because he got that red card, so he's gonna be disqualified for the next match. So he's gonna come back and
Absolutely.
and and be Big Nova again.
Well, I mean, we still have we got Alex Khan, Can Khan. Whatever, I think it's Can. He's still on the squad at the
Really,
reserve. At the reserve GK, yes,
Mister kicked it
he's
in the
still
cheap
there.
seats on the free kick. Yeah, that's him.
He's still there. So yeah, Brad is gonna be out obviously with the red card. So uh, he we're gonna have to look to possibly. Cause I'm not for sure how this all works out with Rios Novos. I know it was like a short term deal that they signed with him. I want to say they signed him on like April 5th to like a short term deal. So we'll have to see how this all works out. But the kid played his heart out for
Yeah, he
18
did.
years old to be on that stage. And like I said, this is kind of significant. It is
Right.
significant because I think with Atlanta United we have, of course, hardware in the case. We got trophies in the case. But this is something not only just with Atlanta United, the MLS in general
Exactly.
needs to do. We need to scratch this. If we want to be looked at as a premier league in the world, the MLS needs to win CONCACAF Champions League, and we need to face some of the best clubs in the world. So this is one thing I'm behind Atlanta United 100% in trying to do and win this whole thing. Derico, what's up?
Let me ask you a question, Leo, since you watched the match. Like, as far as I won't get into like the technical aspect of the game, but as far as the speed, what did you notice different about this squad than the squad from last year as far as playing in the CONCACAF?
Man, it was, they came to play. I mean, seeing that this, there's a lot of changes has happened. Of course, a new manager with Gabriel Heinze, a lot of new faces on this team. I was sitting there trying to make sure as I looked at the squad, like, okay, identifying all our new players. Santiago Sosa in the midfield. I think Leandro started at forward, if I'm not mistaken, and then of course the Kane came in the second half. But the pace of the game initially, man, just starting out, man, to me, it was great. I mean, they came in full throttle, like, hey, here we come, here we go. And I really, really liked the approach to it. Have to see a little more of the system and how Heinz can do this with what we have. But they look phenomenal. They look good. And considering the fact that Alaluense, I hope I'm saying that right, is already into their season, right? They've played several games, so they're already kind of into a rhythm. This was our first full real competition, and
Right.
we played them really, really hard. So I was impressed with it, man. Banks.
If I'm not mistaken, didn't Alaluense win like 25 or 25 straight matches unbeaten
At home.
until
At home,
yesterday?
I want to say it was at home. Correct, you are right on that, man. They are, I think, number one on the table down in Costa Rica. So yeah, they're no joke, man. They have a really really good squad down there, man. So yeah, and I think one of the commentators said that they were actually kind of eyeing this game, like they wanted to make a point to prove that they knew who they were playing. Atlanta United is a lot around this team, so they were looking forward to this match. Derico.
Yeah, and another thing I was reading after the match, considering what's going to happen next week, like they may be undermanned simply because of the new visa restrictions for COVID-19. So you may have like two or three of their best players that may not be able to travel with them because of the travel restrictions on COVID and getting a visa in the United States.
Game
Yeah,
changer.
that's gonna be crazy. That will be crazy if that happens, man. So yeah, one leg down with CONCACAF, and the next leg here coming up pretty soon. We're about 8 days, 8 9 days away from the actual start of the MLS season. Of course, we kick off our MLS season with none other than them boys from down there in Central Florida.
Who was that?
You know who it is. You already know who it is, man.
Who?
Boys down there in Central Florida, man.
Talking about the Mickey Mouse Club.
The Mickey Mouse Club, absolutely. So we play them on the 17th of April, and we got the next leg of CONCACAF here on the 13th coming up here in Kennesaw. So yeah, full week soccer is back, man. Next week we got two games on deck, man, and that will be something else. Just a little more Atlanta United news today. The official signing of Alan Franco. I think he's been here in the city. But I think he tested positive for COVID, so he was in quarantine. But it was made official today. Alan Franco from Argentina. He said. So here's the thing, and this is kind of funny, and I'm gonna kind of move on after this, man. There's a joke going around now that, man, this is Argentina United now,
Yeah.
because Heinze is here. We signed a lot of players from Argentina, but he's familiar with them, and I'm cool with it, man. So like I said, we're gonna see how this all works out. Remember, we had another coach that was from Argentina here before Frank de Boer, and it worked out very, very well. So we'll see how this all pans out. Banks, what's up?
It's actually Argentina United.
Oh, Argentina United. Okay. Argentina United. That's what's up, man. So yeah, I'm looking for, man. We're at a point now, man. We're gonna have a lot to talk about with this sports thing, man. We still got the Braves kicking, and segue right into it really, really quickly. I want to talk a little bit about your Atlanta Hawks. The Atlanta Hawks. We didn't really get to talk about them on the last episode, man. So we're gonna talk about them just a little bit, man, and I'm gonna move on. So look, man, them boys doing their thing, man. Since they fired Lloyd Pierce, Derico's favorite coach, under Nate McMillan, man, they've been on fire. Went on that West Coast road trip. We all talked about it here when they started it, that we wanted to see them go 500. If I'm not mistaken, they may have hit that 500 mark, didn't
Yes, they did. They went 4-4.
they? Hit the 500 mark, 4-4. And if I'm not mistaken, the last time I looked at the standings, I think they were number 4. If I'm not mistaken, were they number 4, number 5 on the standings here? I
They
have to pull it
they
up, but
were number 4, but now they're number 5 because Orlando, the other Orlando team, or was it Charlotte?
It was
Charlotte won.
Charlotte. It was Charlotte
Charlotte won,
won.
okay,
Right.
so that put them at
Hawks
number
lost.
5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
put them in number 5. So yeah, Hawks are chugging right along, man. And the other night they beat. So they did something really, really special the other night against the Pelicans, man. 11 of 11 in the third quarter on 3 point. You know what, guys? This is something I thought we were going to see quite a bit during the whole entire season, right? I thought that with some of the shooters that they had on this team, man, that we were going to see them start just having, just dropping shots. But you know what I'm saying? Apparently, man, this. I don't know if they're hitting, because we talk about this all the time in sports, man. You want to hit your
Right.
stride at the right time. And going into the playoffs here, man, with only a few games left, I'm gonna kick it over to you first here, Banks, man. Are the Hawks hitting their stride here, rolling into the playoffs? Are they hitting it, man?
It's getting there, Leo. You got players like Kevin Herter and Bogdan Bogdanovic and Mr. Gallinari, Mr. Tony Snell. They all hitting these threes, man. And we don't even talk about Trey Young parking lot threes he be hitting. So I mean, it's not. I'm hoping that the team is not settling for the three. I want them to continue to progress to a better team without living with the three. But so far, so good. They are, coming together at the right time. This is what is this, April? This the season end next month. So if you can get one of those top 5 spots going into the playoffs, you don't have to play that play-in game, which is huge.
Absolutely. That's big. Derico, man, do you think that we're hitting the stride right now? Do you feel like they're starting to come on here down the stretch?
Well, it's kind of hard to say that they're hitting their stride because they haven't been fully healthy all season. So when they get fully healthy, then I want to see what they can do. Right now, so it's like piecemeal. But since they piecemeal in this game plan and the people that's on the court, hey, they're doing an excellent job considering that you haven't had Collins in a minute. Cam Reddish ain't been out there in a minute.
Herder.
Herder,
I mean, not I'm
Herder
sorry,
came
not
back.
Herder.
uh,
DeAndre Hunter.
Hunter,
Hunter.
Hunter.
Yeah.
I mean, those like three starters. You know what I'm saying? So, and then Capella been out. He was out last night. He may be out Friday. So you've had him coming in and out. So it's just like there's never been a cohesive starting unit that's been there. I'm gonna put a plug in too and say this: that boy Lou Williams was a big pickup. Was a big
Lemon Pepper Lou. Lemon Pepper Lou. What's up, Banks?
To ride on your coattail, Stacy. Yes, Lemon Pepper Lou was probably the better pickup besides Rajon Rondo. Don't you guys think? I will also
Absolutely.
say
no
that
doubt.
the addition of Clint Capella is probably the best one the Hawks did in years.
Yeah.
I mean, not to mention you got Clint Capella for little nothing. This man's coming in day one making it important dividends for this team. If you can, as you can see last night, he wasn't
Protecting the
on
rim
the
and yeah.
floor, and you can see the Hawks needed him
Right.
bad.
Yeah.
So yes, he is the most important acquisition the Hawks did in years, as far as I
He,
can
he's he,
remember.
he's probably the best. I haven't seen a five in here, man. That's what we talked about that, man. We have not really had a true big man that could come in and do the things that we need and ask of him. And we've been rotating guys that have been like, fours and threes to play that big
Right.
man spot. And obviously the NBA has changed, right? We've seen the NBA evolve. So like the big man as we knew it watching the NBA 10, 15, 20 years ago, the role has kind of changed, but you still need a true guy down there, right, to protect the rim and to get rebounds and to block shots. And like Banks, you just said, man, Capella has been all of that for us, man. He has been like a true, you know what I'm saying, number five that can give us a lot down there, and it's helped out quite a bit, man. So I'm very impressed. So one thing before we move on, guys, Nate McMillan has come in here and has really, really got this thing turned around. I kind of joked and said it was a new coach bump, but obviously, man, he found the formula, even like you said, Derico, with some of the injuries that we've had to kind of piecemeal this thing together and continue us on a winning way. So I don't know how this season will play out, but at the end of all of this, do you guys feel? I'm gonna start with you, Banks, really, really quickly before we move on. Do you feel like he needs to get a shot at possibly getting his job permanently?
He has a definitely shot to get this job permanently. Not really sure what the prerequisite of a coach for this particular team. This team is continuously evolving. You know, as you can see, do you call them a young team? Do you call them an up and coming team? Do you call them? Well, you're definitely not a veteran team, but I like what Mr. McMillan is doing. Um, he deserves it. He should be number one when it comes to when you looking at the coaching search. Hopefully, it won't go past him. But if it does, you better know what you're doing. Absolutely.
Derico, how do you feel about Mr. McMillan and him getting the full time? Like I said, we don't know how the season is going to end, but just a sample size of what you see him be able to do with this team, man. How do you feel about him getting the job
Well,
permanently?
I mean, the record since he's been coaching, he's only lost 5 games with them since he's been coaching. So, you know, I mean, the record speaks for itself. I think he's earned the respect of the locker room. I see the guys actually having fun out there while they're playing. That was missing, when LP was coaching for some reason. I don't know what that was about. Um, but I just think he's earned the respect of the players. He has that locker room. He's a pretty good coach. I mean, hands down, he should be the first one being considered for that job. Hopefully, after this season, when they reevaluate everything, hopefully we made a deep run in the playoffs, and it's a no-brainer.
Hey, it is what it is, man. Shout out to the Hawks, man. They're doing quite well, and it's funny because, like I said we wanted them to go 500 on their West Game road trip. They were, and they're having some success here, man, moving into the playoffs. So we hope to see a lot of positive things from them and talk about them here in the future. So, guys, moving right along, we're moving pretty quickly tonight, and I wanted to get into this conversation, man, because we about 3 weeks away from it. About 3 weeks away from it, man. It's time, man. We're getting
Ooh,
into some real meat
mm,
of sports stuff, man. But it's coming up, man. We about 3 weeks away. I don't know. Banks having some difficulties over there. I don't know what's going on, but 3 weeks away from the NFL draft. So I wanted to talk about. We was gonna have an open conversation about this, man, because there's been a lot of stuff going on since the last time we had a podcast and was able to talk about it. Really quickly, stuff has changed again, right? Things have changed again that will affect how things work in this draft. So last time we talked about the draft, San Francisco moved up to the number 3 spot, right?
Right.
So we know San Francisco is there at the number 3 spot. Something else happened this week that's pretty interesting. The New York Jets traded Sam Darnold to the Carolina Panthers. So now the New York Jets are without a starting quarterback. So that now there's another dynamic here into the front half of this draft that was already, going into it like, hey, are we going to see 4 quarterbacks getting taken? 1, 2, 3, 4. What's going on? What's the deal? So this is all going to change again. So I want to talk about a couple of things, especially pertaining to our Atlanta Falcons, just from a fan standpoint and a perspective of how this looks now. I'm going to start out with you, Banks. Knowing what we know now, Jets get rid of Sam Darnold. Know what they're going to be looking at a quarterback. We've heard a lot of rumors and rumblings about the Falcons and what's going on. Heard some rumors that they talked to people about trading back. Heard some rumors about there's some different philosophies and flowery branches to which way they go. Banks, where are we right now with the Falcons as a fan? Tell me, how do you feel with what's going on at the number 4 pick with the Falcons? Unmute your mic, Banks. Unmute your mic.
I'm sorry, my apologies. As this fan, I feel like, whatever the front office want to do, I'm all for it. Now, you already know that this fan base is divided. I feel that, with this number 4 pick, it's very, very important. I think the draft is going to start with us. If you think about it, you already know the first 3 picks are going quarterback. This 4th pick is a start, a game start. Teams going to be calling the Falcons. Falcons can sit on the pick. They can keep it, but my thing is, as for this fan, I feel like I'm all on board with whatever they want to do. It don't have to be quarterback for me, but if it is, I'm all for it.
All right, Derico, man. So I'm gonna kick it over to you here, man. As a fan, because we first and foremost, man, I want to say this much, man. We're fans first and foremost. We're Atlanta fans. We don't really pay attention to a lot of the national stuff. I mean, we look at it just to see what's going on and what's out there, man. But the fan perspective here in Atlanta, like Banks just talked to and alluded to for just a second, our fan base is kind of divided on where we want to see this go. But your take, where do you see this right now, and how do you feel about it at number 4, where we are with the Falcons?
If you talk my personal perspective, not the overall
No,
perspective,
as a
uh,
fan,
as a
your
fan,
personal perspective,
as
your
a
personal
yeah,
fan perspective.
as a fan, I'm with Banks. I've come to the conclusion that whatever the front office decide to do with that pick, I'm all for it because one, I don't have no control over it anyway. So ain't no use to getting myself set up for getting butt hurt if they make a decision that I don't like. You know what I'm saying? The best scenario for me is if at 4, if they were looking for a certain player and that player is not there, then try the hardest to move back. If you don't have anybody that wants to tango with you, then you pick the best player available. Period. End of discussion. I mean, it's not even a discussion at that point. And I just think, like you said, Leo, the Falcons own this draft, and I doubt seriously anything's going to happen until draft night. Why would you trade your picks now if you think that one of them 4 quarterbacks is the guy that you want? So if you don't know that for sure who's going to pick who, then you just got to sit tight on draft night and see how the chips falling. And then once it get to you, bam, you
I
control
got
it.
Banks. I'm gonna get to you in just a second. Look, I want to say something, man. As a fan, giving my fan perspective, right? We have not been in this position for a long time, and I think we're in great position. It's an exciting opportunity for this franchise. like you said, Derico, man, we're at a spot where we can really make a lot of other people sweat, right? And we don't really care about anybody else. We care about what we get. There's a lot of leverage there. Okay. Best player available. Do we go quarterback of the future? It's in your hands. Or can we acquire more draft equity? So I feel like at this number 4 pick right now, there is really no pressure because whoever we take at number 4 is going to make this team better. I know a lot of people have talked about if we take if they take Kyle Pitts, man, that'd be a shame, man. We need a quarterback. We need a quarterback. No, guess what? Kyle Pitts is coming in day one and making this team better, right? We can actually sit at number 4 and take somebody like Jamar Chase, who's a wide receiver. He's coming in day one and making this team better. I mean, from as fans, we're fans. We're that. I want to see somebody come in here and make this team better day one. If we stay at that number 4 pick, who's gonna come in and give us the best chance of making this team better, man? Banks, I'm gonna kick it over to you. What's up?
It's going back what Derico was saying. This particular pick is a position where the Falcons got a hell of a lot of leverage. For what the Falcons did, a couple of days ago, they were saying that Fontenot and Arthur Smith was like in a crosshairs about what they want to do with Matt Ryan. All of that is a smoke screen. Let me tell you something. Terry Fontenot and Arthur Smith already talked about this before the ink dried on their contract. They already know what they're going to do. They just had to put it out there. So give other teams to know what we don't know we're doing, but we know what we're doing. So when come draft night, maybe our phone be ringing off the hook when a certain quarterback or a certain player is sitting there at 4 and the Falcons letting the timer go all the way down to 10 seconds. It's good strategy. I like what they're doing. They're not showing their hand. And I think a lot of fans are missing that because we're not used to that.
That's right.
Our last regime we had never did anything like this. But, we're coming in this. We know what we got in our hands right now. We have the leverage piece. We can either sit on 4 and get the best player available, or we're going to rape somebody and get a hell of a lot of draft picks.
Okay. Disclaimer: the Leo G Show does not condone anything that Banks said. No,
listen. Maybe I should have said the wrong word, man. I should have said take advantage of somebody. There you go.
Okay.
Bad Antoine.
Fleece him.
So yeah,
we're gonna use that term, fleece.
Yeah. So look. So check this out. Like I said, and it just threw me all off. But look. Here's the thing that I want to talk to you guys about here, right? And not to be the dead horse to death, man, because this is crazy. We've had this conversation. We've gone back and forth. I've talked to several fans about this, man. Matt Ryan, how serviceable is he? And where we are with this franchise as far as moving into the future with a quarterback. Because here's the thing. Here's the conversation. I'm going back to this. Matt Ryan is starting this year, okay? Whatever we do at number 4, Matt Ryan is starting this year. He's starting. All right. With that being said, I mean, unless something else happens.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Derico.
if anybody think otherwise, it's just
delusional.
Not very smart.
Exactly.
Something is wrong. Not very
Something is wrong. The elevator don't go up to the top. You sandwich short of a picnic. Whatever you want to say.
Right.
So listen. With that being said, I'm gonna kick it to you first, Derico, since we were talking about this, because there was an article put out by the Falcoholic, which I thought was pretty funny. Is there really a wrong pick? Can there be a wrong pick at number 4 at this point? If they don't trade back to get more equity, can there really be a wrong pick at number 4?
I mean, there could always be a wrong pick if you pick the wrong person. But I'm just saying, but at 4, I mean, you got to look at the fact
I'm saying
that
so I guess I should say with best player available at 4 and what we know and where we stand right now. I mean, given what we know, like you see Kyle Pitts, you see Jamar Chase, you see that they're offensive guys. Obviously, we already have a tight end, we already have plenty of wide receivers, but at the same time, like with best player available at 4, if that QB isn't there, is there a wrong pick like to go with? Because we know that draft board that right now,
right.
Cap, those players. Go ahead.
I don't think there'll be a wrong pick because If your board is rated as high as people think it's rated, number one, I think it's going to go in this order. It's going to be quarterback, Kyle Pitts, somebody else, somebody else, somebody else. That, that,
Kyle Pitts.
that I
Kyle
mean,
Pitts.
that's what it is. You can't tell me that at four, if three quarterbacks are gone, that he's not the best player on the board. You just can't
He
tell
is.
me that.
I'll agree with you on that. Banks, how do you feel about is this a wrong player situation? What you get at four is going to make this team better. Is there a wrong choice at four?
Only wrong choice at 4 is another kicker. That's a wrong choice. Let me tell you something. The Falcons need a lot of players on this team. I'm talking about you look, just go down the list, guys. Look at every position. We might, probably the exceptions of what wide receiver.
Yeah,
We need a player. I mean, running back, offensive lineman, defensive lineman, safety, corner, backup quarterback. I mean,
what a
we
boy.
need something. We need something. So if you look at it, the whole big picture of things, whatever they pick at 4, if it is a quarterback or Kyle Pitts, I'm not too. I'm not going
Say it.
to sit there and
Yeah, come
step
on,
the
come on.
fact
Say
that
it.
Kyle Pitts
Here we
is Kyle
go.
Pitts.
Come on now.
If Kyle
Uh,
Pitts is the right pick, let me tell you why.
Here we
Because
go. Here we go.
I
Now we
mean, we
cooking with
we
grease.
we have a tight end
here we
already.
go.
We have a tight end already. Okay, so I mean, unless you're going to go 2 tight end sets, which is I heard that Arthur Smith loves to have, that's fine. But again, we're in a position where the Falcons. We're talking about the Falcons now, where the line of scrimmage is a deficiency, offensive line, defensive line. So yes, we can get Kyle Pitts. Oh, that's great. But if Matt Ryan's still on his back, I mean, well, who cares? I mean, at that point, you just got a Kyle Pitts that don't get
But you
any
can't.
point.
I mean, well, you can't deny the fact that, like you said, but yeah, that you do want to keep Matt Ryan clean. Obviously, that's part of it. But you can't deny if I'm not by no means saying that this dude is gonna come in and be the next, Tony Gonzalez, Antonio Gates. But this dude is a phenomenal athlete, man. He makes mismatches out of this world for opposing defenses. If you put him on the field with, i.e., healthy Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley. And like you said, if you do a double tight end set with Hayden Hurst out there, good Lord, man. I mean, you giving defensive coordinators nightmares, right, man?
You're right. And I'm not. I'm. Listen, that will be a good strategy going forward with Hayden Hurst and Kyle Pitts. Then you got Calvin and you got Julio. That's a nightmare situation. Let me throw it back to you two. What player drafted at number 4? Let's say Falcons didn't trade back and they kept that number 4. What player would have you upset? Derico and Leo. I want to hear from you two. What if it's not Fielder, if it's not Lance, and if it's somebody else that's out the blue? What would make you upset?
All right, I'm gonna go first. I'll go really quickly, Derico. I don't necessarily say no, seriously. I don't necessarily say I would be upset. I guess I'll say I'll be. I guess I can say disappointed. How about that? That'll be it. Banks, you probably gonna disagree with me on this, man. I would be disappointed if they really go out with the old tackle from Oregon, Penei Sewell. See, hold on, let me finish. Hold on, let me finish. And the reason I say this is
Yeah.
because we do need help on the offensive line. I will say that much. We do need help in the trenches. We do need help on the offensive line. But at the same time, I think that there are some dynamic players that you just can't afford to pass up that could really be impactful. They could be impactful before looking into a player like that. I think that Penei Sewell kid it might fall off past 10 now, just depending on how everything shakes out. Don't get me wrong, I think he's a great guy. We do need help in the front, but I would be a little disappointed if we got him. It's not to say, and we like sexy picks, right? We like skilled players. I want to see a skilled player because I think, even if we got like somebody like a Jamar Chase, people will lose their rabbit minds and say, God, we got another wide receiver. But man, this dude is did you see LSU's offense 2 years ago when they won the national championship? Man, this kid is phenomenal, man. And like I said, this creates mismatches and this creates problems when you look at, because like I said, Matt Ryan is still a serviceable quarterback. He can still get things done. But yeah, Penei Sewell will probably be the most disappointing person, I think, if we do draft. I mean, if he comes in, I mean, I love him, man. Bring him in and hopefully he'll help us out immediately. But I'm kicking to Derico.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one, Leo. And the reason why, um, did we just take two offensive linemen in the first round last year?
We did.
Oh,
We
okay.
did. We
So
did.
so
2 years
what?
ago.
So this is what we're going to continue to do, right? We're going to continue to neglect every other position, trying to placate one other position. And I think that's where we've been missing the boat in the drafts because we continue to try to placate to one position instead of looking at the whole team. So I would be disappointed that you're saying once again that you're giving one position another lineman in the first round 2 years in a row. That's three of them, and you still under 500. So that's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Banks, I know you're a little disappointed in that.
I'm
I know
very
you are.
disappointed. And for the record, Derico, that was the last regime who missed on those offensive linemen. This is a whole nother regime. Let me say this, and Falcon fans are very guilty of this. Everybody loved the sexy pick, sexy pick, sexy pick. You neglect the whole fact what makes the whole team go is the line of scrimmage. And yes, it is. We have, as a
No,
fan
no.
base,
What I'm
don't
saying is,
care for. Hold on, Derico. No. Even if you got a Penei Sewell to go in on the outside, and you had Matthews to kick him inside, that's better than. I mean, I feel like that'd be a better move than what we've been trying out there with skill positions with no protection.
if
And number, hold on, Derek. Now I'm just real quick at number 4, Banks, at number 4. Really? At number 4. If you really, I'm just saying that's what we're doing at number 4. Like Derek, because 2 years ago we drafted 2 offensive linemen in the first
Now,
round. And
at
you really
number
want to come back
4,
and
now
go at
hold
number
on.
4 and pick him up and
If you're staying at number 4 and you don't have a dance partner, then yes, get the BPA, get the best player available, whoever that
who's
might
who?
be.
Okay,
Whoever
so
that might be, whoever he is,
right,
I'm
so
okay with it.
okay,
you pitched a
yeah,
If it's
strong
not
pitch for him.
I know, right?
if it's whoever he is, I'm okay. But if you trade down and you get extra picks, you cannot tell me you're gonna neglect the offensive line. You
The big,
cannot. You just cannot. You can't do it. Not again.
yes, you
Not
can.
again, dude.
I mean,
No,
you
no, no,
neglect. You
no.
didn't. Did you neglect it last year? No.
Why? But look where we at, though, Derico.
Listen, listen,
No.
Banks, listen.
Mm-mm.
If you don't pick a quarterback, if you don't pick Kyle Pitts, it better be a difference maker on defense. It better be.
Okay, I agree with you on
The,
that. I
and
agree
all
with
the way
you.
and the only way I see you getting a difference maker on defense, because at number 4 there are, right now the way I see it is, there are no players at 4 defensively worth taking that chance on. There's no disruptors on defense to take at number 4, so you better trade back and look at getting somebody like a Surtain or Michael Parsons or whoever. Go ahead, Banks. So we're gonna wrap this up.
Last point I'm gonna make. If you don't address the offensive line, I don't care what round it is. When are you gonna do it? When are you gonna do it? You just gonna wait till that magical tackle or guard just fall out the sky and land in our laps? It's
I
not
mean, you
gonna
still
happen.
like you just said, Banks. We still, you got 7 rounds, right?
I
So I mean,
Man,
understand.
there
I understand. I
that
understand.
Leo, you
But
just hit it.
you better address it. I'm talking about you better double dip in it because
here's
you know
here's
good
the
and
thing.
well.
Yeah, and
You
here's the
know good
thing.
and well
Like I
this
said,
offensive line is not ready to go. You know it.
we know this is a rebuild. This is an unspoken rebuild with this team. We all know this. We're fans. We can say this. We can speak this, man. I see it like this here. I hope that we're not picking this high next year. It's a possibility that we very well might. But you got to remember, man, when you in the top 5, when you picking in the top 5, you better either get you some more draft equity, or you better knock a home run. You better get all you can out of this number 4 pick, because you don't plan on being here again for a while, hopefully. But this is kind of somewhat of a rebuild. So, and I know Banks, we got to close this up. Banks, I'm going to let you hit the closing remark, man, before I close this out. Go.
All I want to say is last one. Going around the table. Who do you think is getting picked at number 4? Go ahead, Stacy.
Who I think is getting picked at number four, I really don't know. I'm being
3 weeks out. 3 weeks
I'm
out.
being
Who you
honest.
get? Who?
Who's the man? I'm just asking. I'm asking everybody. I'm gonna tell you who mine is.
I'm gonna tell you who to pick. I'm gonna tell you who to pick might be because we don't know who the Jets came in and just threw the monkey wrench in. Like I said the last time we was on, it was gonna be the Jets that was gonna put a monkey wrench in this whole thing. So with that being said, if the draft order is what we think it's gonna be, Kyle Pitts is gonna be the pick.
Okay. I'll tell you this much here, man. So I'm kind of conflicted. I got a 1A and a 1B pick. I got a 1A and a 1B pick. Like I'm with you, Derico. There was the Jets just they have run them. They messing this all up in my opinion. The Jets just throwing crazy. If they wouldn't have traded Sam Darnold, then I would have been like, okay, we don't know what they're gonna do. Now we obviously know what they're gonna do. It's just a matter of who they're gonna pick. But I got a 1A and a 1B, and I'm pretty much, flip of a coin at this point. My 1A pick at number 4 is gonna be Trey Lance. My 1B pick at number 4 is gonna be Kyle Pitts. I do feel as though if Trey Lance is there, but he will be there. Let's be honest. If I'm looking at this the way I think I'm looking at this, 1, 2, 3, Trey Lance is gonna be there at 4. It just all depends on where that board is and how they feel about their BPA, best player available. Is it Trey Lance or is it Kyle Pitts? I think it's 1A and 1B. I think Trey Lance is 1A, Kyle Pitts is 1B. I like to be a fly on the wall and a fly on the wall in that war room come draft night. So Banks, who do you think the pick is going to be at 4 as of right now, 3 weeks out?
In my opinion, it's gonna be Trey Lance. And new regime, new GM, new coach, new quarterback. There you go. End of story.
Hey, you on to it? Like I said, I got 1A, 1B,
Ain't no
Trey
such
Lance
thing.
or Kyle Pitts.
You gotta pick one.
Well, 1A, I say Trey Lance. If Trey Lance
Okay,
is
so
there,
Trey
There,
Lance
you
is
go
your
Trey
guy.
there
Lance.
you go. We ain't gonna let you cop out
Yeah.
like that.
Trey Lance, that's who it will be. That's who it will be. So look, man, we're gonna wrap up another edition of the Lil G Show, man. I'm glad that you all were able to come back and talk some sports, man. And we'll definitely come back and we'll do this again, man, because we rolling now, man. We got a lot of stuff going on, man. So I'm gonna kick it over to you here, Derico, man. As always, man, let the people know what you got going on and how they can get you.
You can get me on the IG at Derico_Virgo. You can catch me on the Twitter at VSU96SDD. And if you can find me on Facebook, it'll be on the Stacy D. Derico.
That's what's up, man. So give it over to Banks, man. Tell everybody where they can hit you up.
Hit me up on the gram and Twitter at BabyBanks80 and on Facebook at Antoine Jarrell Banks.
And just a side note, man, if you didn't know, man, Banks is now taking applications for a social media assistant, man, because it takes him forever to respond on social media. So if you are available to be his social media assistant, because Banks is once again a busy man. So if you can, he'll probably be having some applications rolling out here because he's looking for a social media assistant to respond to all his social media accounts. But
Busy
I'm
baby
trying to.
Banks.
I'm helping you, Banks. I'm helping you, Banks. I'm helping you, brother. He's not too enthused with that. As always, man, you can always hit the show up, man. On Facebook, that's the Leo G Show on Facebook. We're there. If anybody's still on Facebook, because I don't know at this point how much longer I'm gonna hang around on Facebook. You can always hit the show up on Twitter. That's the Leo G Show, the number 1 on Twitter. The Leo G Show at the Leo G Show, the number 1 on Twitter. You can also hit me up on Twitter. My personal account is Southern Set. That's with 2 T's. I'm looking into possibly getting a TikTok account and seeing if Derico can keep that up and do some TikToks for us for the show.
I think that's
TikTok,
I think that's a
Snapchat.
beyond me.
Okay. Yeah, it might be. We some old heads, man. So we
Yeah,
barely can
look,
keep up with
yeah,
Twitter and
exactly.
Facebook
Because that's old head right there.
for sure. And you see what Jersey Banks got on. So yeah, it's definitely old heads, man. It's cats right now that's legally able to drink that wasn't even alive when the Thrashers was here. But yeah, so hit us up on Twitter, man, at the Leo G Show, the number 1, at the Leo G Show, the number 1. Also, YouTube, man, we got the YouTube thing going on, man. So follow, like, subscribe. It don't cost you a thing, man. Shout out to my man Reggie doing his thing over there on Gold Food, man. Go follow and subscribe to him. Shout out to my man CJ. CJ's sipping and tripping. He's over there. He's doing this thing, man. So follow him on Spotify and all available podcasts. He just got on Apple, man. I got to give a shout out and plug to him. Also, man, scheduling conflict, man. Jay was supposed to be with us tonight, but unfortunately, man, we had to do a record a little early, so I couldn't get Jay in. But we're gonna get him back. We're gonna get Jay back in here with us, man, to do this thing, man. If you want to know what Jay's got going on, always follow him on jjonescomedy.com. Shout out to like some of our close fans. My favorite DJ, no disrespect to you, Derico, but DJ Aero. Shout out to DJ Aero. Shout out to
I don't feel disrespected at
okay.
all.
I just, I got to shout out DJ Aero, man. Got to shout out my man Rob, no doubt. Got to shout out, of course, Reggie, man, for showing love, man. Got to shout out my man Ted. Shout out Ted, man, for always. We want to try to get Ted to come through, man. Also, I think Derico got some people that we're gonna try to bring on, man, and do something here before the draft, man. So we'll see how that work out, man. But this has been another edition of the Leo G Show, man. We appreciate the support. Definitely thank you guys for coming in. And we're gonna do it again, man. No doubt. This is the Leo G Show, man.